Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do a deep dive into something that I think a lot of us are curious about, especially if you're like me and, interested in spirituality.
Okay, I'm excited to hear about this one.
Yeah, so, there are all these gurus and retreats and all these like different things out there, and I'm sure you've seen this too. It's like, buy this crystal, do this thing, go on this trip, and bam, enlightenment, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And it can definitely feel overwhelming. Like, where do you even begin?
Yeah.
And how do you know what's legit?
Right. So that's kind of what sparked this whole deep dive, right? Like, is this whole spirituality thing maybe a little bit of a scam?
Ooh, that's a spicy question.
It is, and it's actually the title of the podcast episode we're diving into today.
Okay, tell me more.
It's called Spirituality is a Scam. Here's the truth. Osho's take on the spiritual business from the show Curious Rays.
Wow, okay, so they're not holding back.
No, they're not. And one of the things they talk about is this idea of modern spirituality being like a marketplace, right? With all these products and teachers promising quick enlightenment.
It is sort of like a spiritual shopping mall, isn't it?
Exactly. And they argue that this approach, this kind of commodifies spirituality, turning it into an industry.
Right, like it's just another thing to buy.
Yeah. And they cite this guy, Osho, who's like a spiritual teacher.
Oh, I've heard of him. Wasn't he kind of a controversial figure?
Yeah. He's known for challenging traditional beliefs and encouraging people to, like, find their own truth.
Makes sense.
So anyway, they bring up Osho's argument that real spirituality isn't about external rituals or following a leader, but about cultivating, this inner awareness and direct experience.
Because it's not about the stuff, it's about what's going on inside.
Right. But how do we even begin to cultivate that, that inner awareness? Do we just like sit in a cave and meditate for years?
Well, that's where things get interesting. And that's what we'll dig into next. I mean, it's not necessarily about, isolating yourself. It's more about finding that stillness within, even amidst the chaos of everyday life.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. But it's kind of funny, right? Like this whole idea of inner peace has become like a huge business.
Yeah, it really has. The Curious Race people, they talk about how sometimes this pursuit of spirituality, it can actually become like a form of ego gratification.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like, oh, I'm so much more enlightened than you because I meditate every day for, an hour.
Right, like it's a competition or something.
Yeah, like a spiritual status symbol.
Exactly. And Osho, he believed that real spirituality, it's about humility. It's about letting go of that ego, the ego's need for validation.
So it's not about like achieving some special state. It's more about recognizing that that we're all interconnected, all part of this bigger thing.
Right, we're all connected. And this inner awareness thing, it goes way beyond like just meditating or doing yoga.
Okay, so then what does it actually look like to like live with this inner awareness? I mean, how do you actually do that?
Well, it's a process for sure. And Osho, he talked about the importance of self-reflection as a tool.
Self-reflection. Okay, so not like staring in a mirror and giving yourself a pep talk.
No, no. It's more about like taking time to really look inward, examining your thoughts, your beliefs, your motivations, all of it.
Ooh, that sounds hard.
It can be, yeah. But it's about being honest with yourself, even when it's, a little uncomfortable.
So getting to know yourself, all the sides of yourself.
Exactly. Even the parts you might not like.
Because sometimes, it's like you don't want to look too closely.
Yeah. And we all have those defense mechanisms. But Osho, he believed it's in those shadow parts, those places we don't want to look, that's where we can find our biggest potential for growth.
Okay, so self-reflection, how do we actually like do it?
Well, there are lots of different approaches. Journaling can be helpful, or meditation.
And sometimes I find just being out in nature helps too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Spending time in nature, away from distractions, it can really help you connect with your inner voice.
Okay, so that's starting to make more sense. But how does this all, like, lead to a better life? What's the point of all this inner awareness stuff?
So when you become more aware of yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, all of it, you're less likely to be controlled by them.
Oh, I see. So it's like you're not just reacting all the time.
Yeah. It's like you have a choice in how you respond to things.
That makes sense.
And that can be super empowering
Yeah.
because you can start to break free from those limiting beliefs that are holding you back.
Wow, that's a really powerful idea. But, like, how do you even know if you're on the right track with all this?
That's where discernment comes in. The Curious Rays guys, they talk about the importance of being a critical thinker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, not just blindly following some guru.
Exactly. It's about questioning everything, trusting your gut.
So finding what works for you, what feels right.
Yeah. And that takes honesty and being open to, like, challenging those old beliefs you have.
It sounds kind of scary,
It
honestly.
can be a little scary, yeah. But when you start trusting your own inner wisdom, you tap into
Mm,
this source of strength, and that can help you through all of life's challenges.
okay. I'm really starting to get this now. It's all starting to click. But what about for people who are like totally new to this whole thing? What would you say is a good first step?
You know, the first step is just paying attention, noticing your thoughts and your feelings, observing yourself, but without judgment. Be curious.
Like, be a scientist of your own mind.
Exactly. The more you observe, the more you learn about yourself. And the more you learn, the more you can, choose how you show up in the world.
And that's where the freedom comes in.
Yes. You realize that you have the power to create your own reality, shape your own experience, and that's a really amazing feeling.
My mind is blown. This is so interesting. We've covered so much already, but it feels like there's still more to uncover.
Oh, there's always more to explore. In the last part, we'll dive into some of the practices that Osho recommended for, cultivating this inner awareness and living a more authentic life.
Sounds good. I can't wait. Okay, so we're back. And we've been talking about spirituality as a business and Osho's ideas about finding that, real inner freedom.
Right. And in this last part, we really want to make this practical for everyone listening.
Yeah, because let's face it, inner awareness and all that, it can sound kind of vague and fluffy, you know what I mean?
It definitely can. So let's get down to it. How can we actually use these ideas in our lives, like day to day?
Yeah, what can we actually do?
Well, one of the things Osho talked about a lot was meditation.
Meditation. Okay, so isn't that what all the the gurus are selling these days?
It's become really popular, and for good reason.
Yeah.
But Osho's take on it, it was a little different than what you might find in, those meditation apps and stuff.
Oh, really? How so?
He wasn't so much about achieving a specific state of mind, like, being totally relaxed or trying to empty your thoughts completely.
So it's not about forcing yourself to be like a Zen master or something.
No, not at all. He saw meditation as a way to just observe what's happening inside you, like your thoughts and emotions, all of it, but without judging them.
Okay, so just noticing them, like being curious about them.
Exactly. And the important thing is to not take it all too seriously.
So if I'm meditating and I suddenly think about what I'm going to have for dinner, I don't need to freak out.
No, not at all. Just notice it, acknowledge it and let it go. Simple as that.
Okay, that sounds a lot easier than some of those meditation techniques I've heard about.
It's really about finding what works for you. Experiment a little.
Hmm?
Try different types of meditation, like guided meditation or silent meditation, walking meditation, even dancing meditation.
Dancing meditation, what's that?
Well, they're different forms, but the idea is to move your body in a way that helps you connect with that inner stillness. It can be a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. So meditation is one thing we can try. What else?
Another really powerful practice is self-inquiry.
Self-inquiry. Is that like asking yourself a bunch of deep philosophical questions?
It can be,
Yeah.
but it's really about, questioning those thoughts and beliefs that you have.
Yeah.
Digging a little deeper into, your motivations and desires.
Okay. So not just accepting things at face value, but really challenging your own assumptions.
Yeah, exactly. And you can use this with, well, pretty much anything, really. Your relationships, your job, you name it.
So if I'm feeling stuck in my job, instead of just complaining about it, I could use self-inquiry to figure out why I'm feeling that way.
Right. You could ask yourself, okay, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
What are my values? What kind of work would actually make me feel fulfilled?
So it's about taking responsibility, I guess, instead of just blaming, your job or your boss.
Yeah. And that process of self-discovery, it can be really powerful. It can really change things for you.
It sounds like it takes a lot of honesty, though.
Yeah,
And courage.
it does. But remember, you don't have to do this all alone. There are lots of people out there who are on a similar path. You can join a meditation group or find a therapist who you connect with.
Yeah, that's a good point. Having support can make a huge difference.
For sure. As you go on this journey, be patient with yourself.
Right. No quick fixes.
Exactly. It's a lifelong process.
Yeah, sure.
You keep learning and growing.
I'm really glad we did this deep dive. This whole conversation has been so eye-opening. And it seems like the main takeaway is that true spirituality, it's not about, following some strict set of rules or trying to be perfect.
It's about that connection with yourself, with your own inner wisdom.
And finding that freedom that comes from living a life that's true to who you really are.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And that's a journey worth taking.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope this has given you some things to think about. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, trust yourself.